Hi folks, my name is Kristen Lilly and I want to welcome you to FIT and to Presentation Graphics for Built Environments. I've been teaching this class for several years and I really enjoy it, and I enjoy working with the interior design students. And so you're going to be learning a lot of things this year. And the first thing we're going to start with is InDesign. We're going to work on it for 2 weeks so that it's aligned with your studio class. So what you're going to see here is my computer screen with Adobe InDesign open. Now I have a lot of other files, so yours, when you open it the first time, you won't see these files showing up. But that doesn't matter, you will soon enough have some. So the first thing you're going to do is go to Create New. So it may take a moment. And then you see this box come up. You have the option up here of print, web, or mobile. We generally are going to be doing print. So if I hit print, it changes and gives me some typical print sizes that are typical to a size sheet of paper. But you might not know that because you're not used to seeing picas. Picas are a measurement in graphic design. We can change this to be inches. So when it's inches, you see some normal sizes there that you're familiar with, and you see that it says letter. So right here we can make it horizontal or vertical. And then it says facing pages. I want you to unclick that box for this very first project, okay? And then we're going to go say create. So now your screen may or may not look like this. What I want to make sure you have is a toolbar on the left, this big menu up at the top, and then another toolbar over here on the right. If you don't see all of these bars open, you want to go to Window, Workspace, and make sure that Essential Classic is clicked on so you can see all of these tools that you will need, okay? So one of the other things that you may or may not see is this ruler, okay? So I like to have the ruler there, and if you don't see the ruler, you would go under View until you see Rulers, and instead of Hide, you would say Show Ruler, okay? So this is your basic InDesign screen, and it's very similar to the other Adobe programs. These tools on the left we will use all the time, most of the top ones all the time. And when I click on a tool, I'm going to click on this tool right here, the rectangle tool. When I go to my screen and I drag this, you see some of the things happening up here change. If I go to the text and I create a text box, everything that's up on the top there is changing. So it's really great that it changes to give you handy tools for what you need. Everything in that top bar is also located in other places. It's just sort of a pop-up thing to give you what you need. So what you're looking at right here are two separate boxes. One has the square in it and one has a flashing insert. So the box with the X is just a box that we can put images in and do other things with. And then the one with the little flashing cursor is a text box. So if I click here and I start texting here, you can see how that's text. You can actually make a regular box a text box by just clicking on it, and then it becomes a text box as well. Okay, so another thing I want to show you about your page is there is a black outline around the outside. That is the edge of your piece of paper. So remember, we're doing an 8.5 by 11 sheet. So that's the edge of your paper. This pink line is a margin. And one of the things with InDesign is it's really built to do things that very often get printed, and you need to have margins just to help have things from not falling off the page. So it's just a guide for you. And these blue lines that you're seeing right here are actually guides, because if I were to print this piece of paper right now, you wouldn't see those blue lines. You'd just see the words, hello students. So I'm going to click over here for a moment, and I'm going to hit my W key. So when I hit the W key, it's showing me a preview of what that page will really look like if I print it. And I can hit the W key again, and it shows me these guides, which are there to help me not to confuse you. Okay, so to see these boxes, well, the first thing we're going to do is go to this black arrow. There's two arrows here. Right now we're going to work with the black arrow, which allows me to move this box around. It also allows me to change the shape of that box. And then if I go over here to swatches, I have a whole bunch of colors here. And so this box here, that's sort of an outline, that is showing me the frame of that box. And if I click on any one of these colors, it turns to that color. And if I click off of here, you can see that. And if I hit W, you now see that that's there. Okay. And then this back box here, that does the fill. So right now, if I were to fill, nothing happened. And nothing happened because I wasn't actually selected on a box. This red line over here means that there's no fill there. So now that I've got this box selected, I can go and fill it with a color. Okay, so now you can't really see that pink line very much. It's sort of thin. So another thing that you're going to be using this first week is the stroke. So if I hit the stroke, that gives me a thickness for this box. So again, I have to click this box, and it shows me the weight of that line is 1 point, and I can go and make it any size. So there's 10 points, okay? And so this box here doesn't have a point on it right now, and I could go and add a point, and I can give that also, well, it's got to show up with that color. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. But that's not something I would really want to do, because if I hit this, you see how the text is right up against that, okay? So if you ever want to put text in a box, the best thing to do, there's several ways to do it, but a way I recommend is you have your text box and you put it over top of another box. Okay, now this box is sitting in front of this yellow box. If you had gone and put it over top of it, let me show you if I make another box right away. If I put this box over it and fill it with red, the latest thing that you put on your screen always comes to the front. And so if you want to send something to the back, you are going to go to Object, Arrange, Send to Back. Okay, so here's my text. Here's a couple of boxes. If I want to put text on a box, I could put it right here. So let me take a moment to give you a little more information on the interface for Adobe products. So most of what you see on the left side, you will see in a lot of the different programs. And what you see up here at the top, where it says InDesign, File, Edit, Layout, those will change slightly, but I want you to become intuitive about what you're looking for when you're working on a project. So this box, it's an object. So if I want to make some changes to it, I go to Object. So that's where I went to make it come forward or make it go backwards. So if I bring it to the front, it covers this text here, okay? So another thing that it can do is it can flip a box, which isn't going to really make much of a difference to you right now, but I'll just show you so you can transform. Actually, I'll rotate it so you'll be able to see that. You can rotate 90 degrees. So you see how that rotated. If I had arranged to flip it horizontal, it actually did. It flipped from this corner to the X corner. So the other way you can actually rotate, though, is if I, see the way I hovered over that? When I am on this black arrow and I hover over different things, I can get different things to happen. So this curvy arrow means that I can rotate this box. And if I hit the Shift key while I'm rotating it, see the way it constrains it? So it tries to make it rotate in increments of 45 degrees, okay? All right, so object, so if you have something that's an object, you would go and look for it here. So here we have type. So here we find lots of different things about typography that we'll talk about much more later in other weeks, but I want to still introduce you to the basic interface here. Sometimes the computer's a little slow, also because I'm recording, it's making it slower. So sometimes you might have things that take a while and jump in and out. That may happen. Just be patient. It depends on how much power you have in your computer. Also, it helps to only have one program open at a time. Okay, so layout has to deal with things that are dealing with our whole page. So that would do with pages if we wanted to add pages, margins, ruler guides, different things that are dealing with the page rather than objects on the page. Okay, tables we're not going to talk about in this class, but if you ever are working on a project where you need to create some sort of chart, it's pretty intuitive. You can go in there and do that. View, as I showed you earlier, you can find rulers. You can zoom in and you can zoom out. Another easier way to do that, I'm working on a Mac. I'm not sure what it is on a PC. I'll have to check that. But if I hold down the Command key and the space bar, I can increase. And then if I hit down the Command key, the space bar, and Option, I can reduce. Okay, so the next thing is windows. So windows are all of these boxes you see here on the right. So you see here, we've got pages, we've got links, we've got links, we've got effects, we've got effects. I want properties. There's no property here. So say I want properties, I can click properties and then the property window will open. Here I have properties that opened a few other windows at the same time. They sort of group them together. So I can click this box to close that up. So properties still is here. It's sort of a grouping here with these other pieces. So if I click something open, this larger box opens and then I can shut it here. So this is something that I can shut here, okay? So sometimes I might be working with one of these options here and you're not seeing it. So if there's anything that you don't ever see, you go to Windows and you can go and just click on it and it will show you what you need. Okay, so here we've got a box, and some text. So those are some things to get you started playing with it. One of the things I should have told you too, when I do a live class, I make you all just watch what I'm doing. And then I do it again so that you can take notes. And then we do it a third time so that you can practice. And I'd like you to do that when you watch these videos. It's very hard to take notes and watch everything at the same time, but doing it remotely, you have the option of pausing in the middle. So you could do that. But it's nice just to watch the whole video first and then take the notes, okay? So I'm going to shut out of this, let you guys practice, and then I'm going to create a new video that's going to get you started on your first assignment.